I'm trying to have a good day. This is supposed to be a happy day.
Hey, you are gonna have a good day.
Nobody seems to give a about me, though.
It's Kim's wedding day, and once again, there's tears. It's supposed to be the happiest day of her life. So if this is how she is today, good luck, TJ, for the rest of your life.
What's wrong?
I wasn't in the mood at all or in any kind of energetic field to invite or do any kind of worship just then.
Day 2 of her ceremony, and Kim, once again, feels like she's out of the loop. She has no idea what's going on, and clearly she hasn't learnt her lesson from yesterday. But before we play the blame game, let's just rewind to the start. So we left Kim in the last episode as she struggled through the first day of her wedding celebrations. And when we join her in this episode for day 2, both she and her parents are feeling anxious.
I'm feeling okay. I'm just anxious because I'm feeling like I'm late for 2 ceremonies right now.
Have you talked to TJ this morning?
Not since I left the hotel.
Okay.
Has anybody else talked to you at all?
No.
Now, we're no stranger to Kim acting the victim. She's been doing it all season, and the same applies today, it seems. I totally understand that on her big day, it must feel alienating not to be surrounded by her nearest and dearest. Like, I'm sure she would have loved to have more friends and family there with her. So perhaps that's also contributing to her feeling anxious. Her feeling like no one gives a shit. But that shouldn't be news to her. She rocked up to India fully aware that this wedding was happening. She's had months to prepare. Months to learn about the ceremonies. Learn about what she'll be taking part in.
The haldi ceremony will start in 1 hour. Like
In an hour?
Yeah, because my things was taking so much time. Yeah.
Okay, can we make sure that someone actually informs us of what's going on? Because I've been over here thinking that we've been running late for everything.
Yeah, so we have to give Kim that. That is a fair request, to be kept informed of the schedule. And it's clear that TJ has sympathy for her here. He appreciates that she is out of the loop, although he falls short of taking any of the blame himself.
Honestly, I'm feeling bad that Kimberly doesn't understand what's going on. But many of the ceremonies are doing separately, so it's very hard to answer everything and to explain everything to Kimberly.
No, sorry TJ, I'm not buying that. Yeah, it might be hard, but that is your responsibility to answer any questions she may have. It's both of your weddings. She's not just an accessory. It should be a joyful thing to explain everything to her, given what a spiritual person she is. But by TJ making it feel like a chore, saying it's very hard, he just avoids doing it. That's not the first time we've seen that behaviour from him. Now, the Hindu priest, known as a pandit, comes to the hotel to collect Kim. He'll be taking her to perform a thread ceremony. But once again, TJ hasn't got time to explain to her what that means.
I can see why you get frustrated because it's very hard to understand what and when.
I feel like all the time, and nobody's telling me what's going on.
Right.
Look, you just know things are bad when it's Kimberly's stepmum who up until now has been so positive, so enthusiastic about everything, who is now starting to get irritated about the lack of communication. I completely understand that Hindu weddings do have a lot going on. They do seem very hectic. There must be so much to organise. But it does feel like TJ's family dropped the ball here. They really should have had someone there to help Kim and her family.
Can we have a translator, please?
Yeah, he just left. He's coming back.
Wait, I'm confused. So are we saying here that they booked a translator, but when he's actually needed, he just disappeared? That would explain why Kim's family want to just wait for a second. They want the translator to return so that they can understand what this chanting means, what it symbolises. But unfortunately, despite being surrounded by lots of people, none of them seem able to help. And that gets interpreted by Kimberly as no one caring.
I'd like the translator to be here to explain what the chant is for.
Is that okay?
Rashid?
Give your hand.
Now, I think this is just an innocent mix-up. I don't take it as them not caring. I think the priest just assumes that Kim's dad is asking what he should do. So he instructs him to put his hand out and then just resumes with the chanting. But you can just tell that Kimberly has almost reached her boiling point already. She's getting pissed, and it's only the first ceremony of the day. She just can't shake the feeling that she feels like a prop, an accessory at her own wedding.
I'm a spiritual person, and we're just kind of going through these motions.
Right hand. Right hand.
Now, for as annoying as this must feel for Kim and her family, I need to reiterate what I said at the start, which is with some very basic, light research she's had months to do, this whole experience would feel very different for Kimberly. So while I definitely agree that TJ and his family should be doing more to help Kim stay in the loop, Kim isn't entirely the victim she's painting herself out to be. She should have taken more of an interest on the ceremonies and what she was going to be doing on her own wedding day prior to the day itself.
This ritual is important to TJ, and if it's important to him, I also want to understand what's going on and the significance and the meaning behind everything. I don't just want to go through the motions.
Kim wants to be spoon-fed. She feels entitled to it. But the truth is, if it was that important for her to know the details about the ceremonies, she could have easily done the homework herself. But now, as the priest wraps up the ceremony, Kim can't keep a lid on her emotions anymore.
Okay, I've got to calm down.
What's wrong?
I wasn't in the mood at all or in any kind of energetic field to invite or do any kind of worship just then.
She talks about being in the mood and being in the energetic field, but to be completely honest, the energy that she's giving out right now is that of a sulking teenager. She's really feeling sorry for herself. She's adopted this victim mentality. She's convinced herself that no one gives a shit about her.
I'm trying to have a good day. This is supposed to be a happy day. Nobody seems to give a shit about me though.
Kim, this day, this wedding, your whole marriage will be what you make of it. If you want to convince yourself that no one cares, you're the victim, guess what? You'll find plenty of evidence to support that theory. But you also have to ask some hard questions of yourself. You've got to ask what you expected to happen when you chose to have a wedding in a foreign country in a language you don't speak, having done none of your own research. So do TJ and his family need to take some of the blame? Yes, they do. But Kim, so do you. And it's left once again to TJ to try and calm Kim down.
Maybe the problem is that our rituals are so complex that sometimes he can't even translate it. I would request you to just wait for me for a time. Just I can tell you. I can take the responsibility then.
Both of you should have taken that responsibility weeks ago. This could have all been avoided with literally 1 hour of preparation. In fact, day one of the wedding ceremony yesterday should have pre-warned her about the need to maybe do a few minutes of Googling. But even so, Kimberly does seem appreciative that TJ has stepped up to the plate. But the only problem is, as the next ceremony starts, TJ immediately forgets that he's supposed to be explaining things to her.
We are going to start the haldi ceremony.
बस जैसे अपने चढ़ाई थी ना पैर से ऊपर तक.
What does it mean? What do I do?
Once again, Kimberly's stepmum has to ask what the heck they're supposed to be doing, because TJ isn't translating as he's supposed to. It's annoying, because whilst TJ seems to have real trouble explaining it in the moment to Kim and her family, those same problems seem to disappear later when he articulately explains what's going on to the camera crew.
We make a paste where we use the turmeric, oil, saffron. All the relatives come and apply on. It's the process of making Kim and TJ together one soul.
Yeah, he did the same thing yesterday too. So TJ clearly has the knowledge. He has the ability to explain the ceremonies. It's just that he hasn't been bothered to explain it to Kimberly or her family until now. So as TJ's family lines up to smear this turmeric paste on the couple's bodies, starting with Kimberly's feet and ending with TJ's head, once again, surprise, surprise, Kimberly isn't comfortable.
I don't like people touching me at all in general, and I especially don't like people touching my feet, but at the same time, I can tell it's out of love and that makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I can understand that it is quite intimate having strangers touching your feet, but Kimberly better get used to it, because that in India, touching feet is how people give and take blessings every single day. See, Kim, I can Google, so you should be able to too. Look, this isn't the only thing that Kim's gonna have to get used to. There's gonna be a lot of things that right now feel uncomfortable for her, but if she plans to live in India, she's gonna need to suck it up. She's gonna have to get used to it fast.
A small drop.
एक साथ हाँ
Small amount.
बस साइड में लगेगा
You can see Kimberly desperately trying to be positive here, despite how uncomfortable it is, as water gets poured over her to wash off the turmeric paste. It's a sign that maybe, finally, her attitude is beginning to brighten. Now, the good news for her is that from here on in, all of the ceremonies, all of the rituals will include TJ by her side. So maybe now, with the man she loves next to her, she might be able to try and chill out a little. Heck, who knows, maybe she might even be able to enjoy this once-in-a-lifetime experience she's having.
So I don't want to dwell on the problems anymore. I'm allowing all of the negativity to go away, and I just want to have a positive outlook and remain optimistic the rest of the day.
Yeah, we've heard Kimberly say similar before, but these wedding ceremonies have really highlighted how bad she is at adjusting to a new culture. Her default attitude seems to be negativity about pretty much everything. Crazy to think the lady with the YouTube channel called Positively Kimberly seems to really struggle to be positive and optimistic even at her own wedding.